my name is Margaret Adele, and welcome to another indie book review. This one is a little bit odd, not as odd as we have gone on this channel, but it's a little bit more out there. So today I am reviewing Marcus's Misadventures by Jeremy M. Moore. This is the first book in the Catatonic series. I believe this is a trilogy, and these are more light-hearted, humorous, speculative work all about a dude working in the basement of this pharmaceutical company who stumbles across this book that seems to be about alchemy, even though it actually claims to be about teaching your cat tricks, and things happen, and it turns out he's like a magus now. That's weird. And in general, it had a very light-hearted tone, very silly tone in general. There is talking to the cat involved, which you always love to see. I really liked that. The format of the book was definitely, like, how do I explain this? It definitely said beginner indie author. For example, like how the chapters would start this high up. Now, I don't necessarily hold that against any indie author. Formatting an ebook to a physical book is an art form in itself that a lot of indie authors have to learn on the fly, but that is definitely something that can accidentally make a book look cheaper. But obviously, the cover is pretty good. I like the cover. In general, I liked the idea of it, that kind of regular Joe Schmo stumbles across speculative, magic-y things, and like the elements of the magic themselves are kind of like wrapped up in our modern day world. I liked that. In some cases, the book acted like an e-reader tablet at times. That was really amusing to me. But in general, there definitely felt like there was a lot lacking in the book. For example, this did not feel like a whole story in its own plot-wise. Obviously, it's not going to be the whole story of the whole series. There are other books coming. But even when you're writing a book within a series, there still needs to be some element of completion. There still needs to be some element of something being wrapped up, or at least the phase being fully ended so you can move on to the next phase. I don't know if I'm even explaining this well, but if you read a lot of series, you get the gist. You still want to feel like you have finished something at the end of that book, even knowing there's other books you still have yet to read, and I didn't get that here. Just laying out the plot, it didn't feel like enough plot points happened for it to feel like a book, and I don't know how else to describe that. But another way that I felt like things were kind of bare bones was there's no details to the magic system. And I know we're getting into a whole hard magic versus soft magic debate, but it was particularly notable in this book because the alchemy is the point. So he finds a book with like recipes and chemicals and stuff in it, and supposedly, most of the stuff used to make the things in these potions or tonics or what have you are common household items. And so I was thinking, oh, we're going to see what the common household items are. But moreover than not, the descriptions of him actually making any of the things that are in the book are very vague. They might like low-key mention maybe flour, and then everything is, oh, I just found what I needed in the kitchen. Okay, but what was it? What was needed? And yes, in a soft magical system, you don't get those details, but the alchemy is the point, and in alchemy, it's a big deal what you're mixing together. That is the point of it. So it was like the book introduced a hard magic system, but was trying to use soft magic rules for it. And it was especially notable because, like, this is a humor book, right? You could have used the ingredients of these tonics and potions as further points of humor to kind of make it more absurd that, like, he's mixing this potion that's supposed to do something incredible, but then as he's mixing it, he realizes he's literally just putting together a child's volcano project. And how is this supposed to be a potion? Like, there could have been funny household goods used to up the humor and show the ridiculousness, but instead, it was so vague that it was like, why was the book even a point? Like, if we were going to focus on the book was going to be such a big deal, but we're never going to focus on what he's actually making or how he's actually making it, when that is majority of the plot of this book. It felt lacking. And also, the formatting also comes in because I think this book is, yeah, just over 200 pages, but I read it really, really fast, mostly because I read in timed sittings, so I could tell that I was reading this book over 2 pages a minute, which is my usual reading speed for mid-grade. So while this is over 200 pages, I don't know what it would be if the formatting had been different, but I'm willing to bet it probably would have been a lot shorter. But regardless, there was I just wanted something more in a lot of different aspects in this singular book, and it didn't necessarily make me want to read further, aside from the cat. Purloin, the cat, has a weird way of communicating with Marcus, our protagonist, and I'm always a sucker for talking cats. It did fall on a lot of the generic stereotypes of cats, but it was funny and it was amusing. I did like it. I liked the interplay between them. I almost wanted to see more character development between Purloin and Marcus's fiance, Elena, who didn't, or is it Alana? I think it's Elena. Is it Elena when it's one end? I never know. But I wanted to see almost relationship development between them because Elena and Purloin seem to have this weird we begrudgingly accept each other vibes. But in general, I gave the book 3 stars. Will not be continuing with this series. It didn't grip me enough to feel like I really, really wanted to continue with it. However, it has still got that humorous, absurdist nature to it. It reminded me of other books of its ilk that I've read. So it is, in tone at least, on par with those other books. I just wish there had been more details. I wish there had been more of feeling of completion in the plot in this book specifically, and not felt like I was reading one half of a completed book that I would then have to finish with another book. But in general, if you do like that absurdist, speculative stuff, you'll probably enjoy this one. And with nothing else to say, I hope you have a wonderful day and a marvelous tomorrow.